Welcome everyone to the webinar Skills, New Technologies, Transforming Tourism. This webinar is part of the activities of TourXpeRience project, a project funded by European Commission through the Erasmus Plus program. It is organized by the Employment and Training Service of Murcia region in Spain. Please note that the webinar will be recorded and uploaded into the Employment Service online video channels. So in addition, I kindly request that the attendees you keep your microphones muted so as not to interrupt the presentation. The chat function should be enabled so that you can leave your question, which will be answered at the end of the presentation. My name is Gregorio Cañavate. I'm the moderator of the webinar today. The contents of the webinar, I have to say that is very interesting and very excited about how it's going to be. So we will have a first session about artificial intelligence and extended reality, transforming tourism, where artificial intelligence combined with immersive extended reality opens new ways to experience destination before, during, and after the travel. From personalized itineraries and virtual previews of attractions to interactive cultural heritage experiences, these technologies enhance visitor engagement and create an added value for both tourists and local communities. That is the first part of the webinar. Second part is a presentation about the skills needs for the 21st century in tourism, first 20th century tourism. And then we will do a quick roundtable to discuss about future necessary skills to achieve the excellence in tourism sector. Today, I'm not talking all the time. Who is talking today is a pleasure for me is to have two stars from education and technology here today. First one is Jussi Kajala from Finland. Jussi is an EdTech pioneer, transforming how people learn, explore, and experience the world through immersive technologies. With a passion for merging creativity, technology, and learning, Jussi has led international projects that use artificial intelligence, virtual reality, and gamification to make education and tourism more engaging and meaningful. His work empowers cities, schools, and cultural organizations to tell their stories through digital simulation and interactive experiences, bridging the physical and virtual worlds to inspire discovery and connections. So Jussi, Chief Executive Officer of 3DBR, the first talking, and late we will have after Marievi Gretsi, which is a Bachelor in International, European, and Regional Studies from Pantheon University, and it's currently pursuing or forming a Master in Theology and the study of religion and culture. She has extensive experience in managing national, international, and European funded projects with focus on education, training, and skill development. She is currently working at the European Department of AKMI Metropolitan College as a team leader in the context of skills, anticipation, and excellence in tourism industry. In addition, she coordinates a Center of Vocational Excellence project recognized as a best practice by the European Training Foundation and is certified mentor by Ghent University Academy for Engineers. Her work includes mentoring and validating the skills of young learners in relation to career opportunities in the blue economy, as well as fostering ecosystem that connects educational providers, labor market representatives, and policy makers under the Pact for Skills. So, a panel of stars we have today. I finish here my presentation to give the floor to Jussi, who will be the first talking today. Jussi, floor is yours. Thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you. Yes, thank you very much, Grego. Pleasure to be here. Thank you for this invitation. I'm really looking forward sharing my views regarding the matter. Just give me first a minute. I will open up my presentation regarding the topic. Yeah.
Here it goes. Perfect.
Thank you. So my name is Jussi, as Grego introduced. I have been working in the field of immersive experiences for almost 2 decades. I was also the chief analyst for Business Finland, the Finnish government innovation funding agency, for 3 years, and worked also as a management consultant for larger European companies in a company called Spinverse before that. And in 3D Bear, the company I'm founder of and we've built, we are pioneers in immersive learning. To kick off the presentation, I'll just talk a little bit first about, I already shared who am I, but then I'd like to share what our company is doing before diving into today's topic. In today's topic, I'll share you 5 trends, which I personally believe are the most significant in tourism, connected with these associated technologies we are talking about today. And then I'll provide you 3 case examples of how technology is used in tourism in different ways. Let me just give you a brief overview about 3D Bear first, so you understand better my background and context I'm speaking of. So 3D Bear is the best content creator for TVET, technical and vocational education, providing online learning for all TVET subjects across the world. Time magazine selected us to be top 50 education company in the world last year, a feat that we are humble and incredibly proud of. Also, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation has selected us to be in top 8 in the world for immersive learning. This is the 3D Bear team, and we have offices in Helsinki and New York, while most of our people are located here in Europe, in Finland. Already gearing towards today's topic, everybody is talking about AI, being one of the most significant topics in the current technology transformation in the world. No wonder. One thing I forgot to share about my background is that I have actually PhD in machine learning. I studied theoretical physics. I first went to University of Cambridge in United Kingdom, and then I worked in computational physics, building parallel computing algorithms called singular value decomposition in Finland in Aalto University technique, which is also used in training AI in today's world. But the thing is, while there's so much buzz about AI, and there's so much also hot air nonsense around, the big question that's facing us in every industry sector is, how do we specifically harness AI in the best possible way? And indeed, the domain-specific solutions are the sectors in AI where there's a lot of promise. So there's the big players like OpenAI, which provide general language models, and it's very difficult for smaller players to compete against them in the big field. So usually when you do your own AI solutions, at this level. I presume that the most webinar listeners are representing. You don't want to compete with the big players, but you want to find a niche where you can become really good at. And indeed, for example, this Silo AI Finnish solution, which was sold for 600 million euros to AMD just early last year. They are an example. Their chairman strongly advocates the view that where Europe, for example, going to stay competitive is this domain-specific AI. So that means if you have one field that you have good experience in, good data in, where you can kind of provide solutions for clients that are not generalistic, something that, for example, OpenAI is not doing, there you will have competitive advantage. But let's go to the select trends and tech in tourism next. So I've selected 5 trends that I want to highlight in my talk, which are, I think, really meaningful in the tourism sector. So what's happening is that there's a lot of trip planning happening using AI. Especially younger people do it a lot. If they go for a trip, usually first thing is that they ask ChatGPT or what have you, I have this budget, I'm planning to go these days. Can you provide me a plan for my trip or itinerary? Give me the cheapest flights, give me the places to stay. What does that mean for tourism? So it means that previously you wanted to your result, your solution to be shown in the search engine. So you want to be ranking high in Google searches, for example, in this search engine optimization. But now comes the AI engine optimization. So you want your solution be offered when somebody asks ChatGPT for a travel plan. So how do you do it? First thing I think to understand is that it's different than SEO, although there are some similarities. So the AIs and chatbots, they are built on this natural language processing, so they understand natural language, the language we speak as humans. And usually people ask questions like, I want to have the best holiday location for a family for a 7-day trip in Cartagena, for example. So you want to be ranking high in these kind of natural language questions. Previously, the CEO is basically keyword based. And you want to be ranking high in some keywords that your kind of a domain represents. So now in AI world, you want to be ranking high in longer kind of sentences or questions. For both worlds, the kind of citations are super important. You want to be linked or cited in as many sites as possible to get your result or hotel or experience shown in the ChatGPT itinerary. So that's really important still. And there are many other factors. So let's go forward because we have limited time today. So trend 2 is that language learning gets easier. Already there have been really good solutions using Google Translate, or you just take a picture and then from the picture you get instantaneously the kind of a translation. But this is getting better and more people are getting access and understand how to use these tools. So what it means that also, from Duolingo to learning language with ChatGPT, this kind of a personalized adaptable learning becomes easier. And it's a good idea as a tour organizer or tourism actor, of course, to have the materials available in a text or picture form. Of course, then it's easy to kind of send it to ChatGPT and ask, like, can you translate this to my language, even if you wouldn't provide translation services on your websites directly. But just to bear in mind that that's important, and if you have it even on paper at the site, that can explain to a foreign tourist just by taking a picture and making a ChatGPT translation that, what is this about? And also, if you can show them how. So let's say a tourist comes to your place, speaks language you don't speak. You can maybe ask the language, put the thing in ChatGPT, and that can already act as an intermediary helping you in your discussion. Trend 3. So users expect enriched content. For example, when selecting accommodation, I'm already talking to a lot of people who think that, and this is especially, I think, for those who are more picky regarding the location. So when you go to a new place, you want to feel safe, you want to know that there are certain services around, you want to, especially if you're going to a country where there's a variance in offering, some places are really bad, you want to see proof that this is like a place you want to be paying for. So more you have content, more you have proof available, the more you will get these picky clients. So that's important. And one example of that is, for example, using 360 VR views to describe content for your location. Going to trend 4. So this is actually connected with trend 5. And without stealing the thunder, I just say that trend 4 is that virtual travel enhances accessibility. What this means is that there are also people who can't travel, like they are disabled, they are elderly, they might want to not do longer trips, or they're not capable of, or they don't have the money, they are stuck home with 5 kids, any reason. So for them especially, you no longer need just to watch the travel documentaries from TV, but you can also do pretty cool virtual experiences. I have an example later in the case example of immersive spaces later on in this presentation. But I think many of you have already tried, for example, Google Street View, which is pretty amazing. If you kind of just use VR to kind of go to different places in the world using some tools like that, they are really cool. You can fly across Manhattan. You can see so many things already in VR if you just know how to use it. And especially for those who can't, for one reason or other, do the travel, this can increase accessibility. And we are not yet cracked in tourism industry how to monetize that well. And I think that is a key in this space. So trend 5, finishing off my trend overview, is that traditional tourism is not going anywhere. Tourism is combination of food, smells, people, culture, multisensory realistic experiences which are still tied to real space and time. And I guess that's great news for our tourism actors. So even though the world is shaped by these big technological trends, I certainly believe that this will remain constant. And the question is more like how you can enhance the experiences, how you can get more visitors, how you can use, for example, this AI search engine optimization to kind of get traffic. There's a lot that tourism can benefit from AI and XR, but the real thing is the physical visit, seeing the Alhambra, seeing the Colosseum. Nothing really replaces the real experience. So let me just briefly go through a couple of case examples in the end. Greco, how are we doing at the time? How much do I have still available?
In 10 minutes more would be okay.
Okay, so
An
still
extra
10 minutes.
Yes.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm certainly through with that. I'm just worried that I would be over time, but good that I am not. So I just take some examples how to use like VR and AI and AR technologies in tourism. So here's a game called Seppo, and with Seppo, you can make like this kind of a location-based travel experiences. Here's an example, Mystery in Palermo, where you can kind of populate the city with different tasks and then have a game for the player that he plays through, gets points, and makes visiting the city or specific area or whatever do you like, an gamified experience. So these kind of solutions, there are many out there, but I think Seppo is one of the best. And if you haven't tried it, here's also a link and QR code that you can try this specific game. And there's and I really like the concept. So that's how an example of how you can enrich the pre-existing content. And when we think in tourism, that we should be catering for different clients. So it might be that for the parents, it's enough to go to the glorious Cathedral of Santa Caterina and enjoy the real life experiences. But kids, can I play Pokemon and can I do this and that? And I want to watch TV. So actually, it might be kind of you might lose the battle against the digital devices with your kids if you don't actually give them something meaningful to do. And if you give this sort of a meaningful to do while you're on a trip, they can actually concentrate on the actual experience better. This is the Santa Caterina Church. I just made the Seppo game exercise regarding it. So in that way, you can kind of enrich the family experience stay with this AR technology. And I think that's a great example of that. And I would specifically look when using this sort of a technology, how to gear it towards the people who expect this kind of experience. So that's usually younger generation, and maybe that can also then draw traffic. So there are certain sites that you're family oriented or are traditionally used by people who are older, but actually if you kind of a deep dive in the digital world and harness the tech, then you can get the young. So that's of course really lucrative for many of us. And here is just, continued example of the gamification, how you can do it in the context of this sort of augmented reality technology we are looking at here. They can be timed, they can be escape room-like, they can have leaderboards that you compare players against each other, or even siblings in the same family, which can be tough for the losing sibling, and so on. All right, so let's then look at another example of enrichment. This is actually an application our company has built, which is no longer available in all regions, but this is a good example of tourism and enrichment. So here I'm showing an example of a virtual arts exhibition. So this Pekka Halonen is one of the most famous artists in Finland, and there's this academy, Pekka Halonen Academy, and also in Estonian organization called Tartu Kunstikool. So they built together this virtual arts exhibition. So the idea there is that they scanned the artwork exhibited in their premises and made them available virtually for all the visitors. And then the visitors could kind of make their own exhibition out of these artifacts. So they took their mobile phone, they had the collection, and they could put it wherever they want and take pictures out of it. And of course, there was also the concept later on introduced of this metamorphic art, where the kind of pictures actually contain some clues. If you rotated them, you found a secret message. They again, I think this is also an example how you make it kind of more interesting digitally. So imagine going to this arts exhibition with your 5 and 8-year-old kids, and then you want to spend time looking at this sculpture. The kids will get bored. And again, you can give this to them and they can actually play with something meaningful related to that visit and experience. So they can kind of, you get the best of the both worlds. You get the physical experience, you kind of see how long the kind of kids stay in it and get interested. And when, before they start fighting and kicking each other, then you can provide this experience where you can kind of enrich the art experience, and it's actually quite interesting for parents too. So if you're interested regarding that, we published this USO, UFO, unidentified sculpted objects arts exhibition on this website if you're interested more about that topic. And this could be, anything tourism connected. I will finish off with this immersive space example. And as I mentioned, it is an accessibility thing. It is a thing that, not all of us can afford to travel. Not all of us have the physique anymore to travel. So, and this is a big group of people in this kind of inverse age pyramid that Europe is living. If we were able, first of all, to make their quality of life better, if we were able to provide them similar travel experiences that that those that still have the physique and have the money to travel can experience, it would be kind of even human rights issue. But then also, it is also a business opportunity for the tourism sector that is completely underutilized. So I think a good example of how we can kind of turn this around are these immersive spaces. So we've also built a couple of them, and these are like rooms. You can have this also in VR, and we already discussed, for example, using Google Street View in virtual reality. But these spaces are really interesting technological concept. So in a room. Also, for example, we've built one room for an elderly home. There are elders, 80 years old, 90 years old, which are no longer going on a tourism trip. They are no longer actually going even to their holiday home in Finland, like 100 kilometers away. But what we can do, we can actually film their holiday home, different tourism locations, and provide them the experience in the elderly home that they get to these places. They visit these places, and these are really interesting and interactive. They can combine scents, audio, lights, and these can be used also in group, not just by individuals, which is actually really important for example, elderly. So I think one of the problems in VR technology has been that, VR goggles is kind of a very lonely experience. You kind of put the goggles on your head, and then you're kind of there alone, and then you just watch around. And when, for example, 80-year-old grandma is looking at goggles, then you take it off and on. Can you see that? No, you cannot. Yes. Can I click this? It doesn't work. All of that is, forgotten in an immersive space, where it's a room where you can have instructor-led activities, you can have teamwork, it's a group, you don't need to put goggles on, you can just go there and enjoy and experience the content. So I think that's really interesting. To finish off, I have a video. I apologize that this is in Finnish, because this is from the Finnish primetime news, where the immersive space we built here in Finland was featured. But I will just describe you what's happening here in my own words. So, for example, so now you see there you see, and you will see soon again, like picture from this immersive space, which is used here specifically for learning context. So it is a room where people stay. And what is great about this, that you've had this kind of a virtual experiences in theme parks for ages, but this is like affordable. It is customizable, and you can actually use all sorts of content, also one that you build yourself here. So, and it's no longer connected with just like single experience that is built with millions of euros. This is very scalable and affordable, and there's access to a lot of different content. So for example, they wanted to go in disco in this experience, and maybe I turned the voice on, so we created a disco for the users here. Just a second.
Ikää lähestyy, niin sitten ollaan sinne luotu myös semmoinen diskotila ja siellä äsken laulettiin karaokea ja diskoiltiin.
So these were actually 16-year-old students who were taught how to kind of behave in disco when they turn 18. But you can already probably see here how you use it in the tourism context. So with these concrete examples, I finish my part and thank sincerely Gregorio Cañavate for the invitation. And I remain at your disposal for the roundtable discussion and any questions or comments on the topic.
Thank you, Jussi. Very interesting. I agree very much that, for example, the immersive spaces, they are very interesting. I think they can be very interesting, for example, for cultural activities or museums, like exhibition rooms, things like that, no, for add some value to the educational experience. And because I have kids as well, when we have been traveling, moreover, when they are very young, the mobile phone in combination with the real destination is an advantage. No, the technology can be your friend in this case. No, engaging those kids, and they get engaged with activity or with the place a lot. Definitely. Thank you, Jussi. And yes, I pass to the floor to Marievi. So Marievi, please.
Yes, thank you, Gregorio. Thank you, Jussi, for this nice presentation. I hope that you can see my screen. Is that correct? You can see my presentation?
Yes.
Great. Okay. Great. So thank you very much, Jussi, for this nice presentation. For sure, I would like to check again because these cases were very valuable, and we can integrate somehow also in the trainings. And in order to pass the floor to the next topic on this agenda is the skills and actually the education, the training that as providers we need also to think about. So my name is Marievi Gretsi. I'm working for AKMI. AKMI is a vet school based in Greece. You can see our department in 9 different cities. In Greece, we don't have only the tourism department, but we have more than 100 fields of studies, from tourism to kindergarten, to music, to data analytics, to shipbuilding, and many other fields of study. So, as Gregorio said before, AKMI is a coordinator of the TourX project. TourX project was the first project funded under the Center of Vocational Excellence in the tourism sector, and we are very happy that we can collaborate also with other projects, and in order to join forces in these 21st century skills that we need for the tourism industry. So today we will explore how the tourism sector is transforming and what skills need to thrive in this century. I will present the main findings of the TourX project, focuses on the education, training, and innovation in the tourism sector. So why skills matter now? Tourism is one of the Europe's fastest changes industries. Technology, sustainability, and as Gregorio said before, new traveler values are shaping how we work and what guests expect. businesses are looking for people who can combine digital know-how, sustainability, literacy, and human-centered services. These are some keywords that we're going to also analyze later. And this is exactly what TourX and also other Center of Vocational Excellence projects are doing in order to set out and define and then train. So, as we said in the beginning, TourX is a Center of Vocational Excellence. We are 23 partners under TourX. I think that TourXpeRience has 22 partners. We are in 7 EU countries and plus China, so as to bring this internationalization part on our work. TourX brings together vocational schools, university, industry association, and research partners from across Europe and China. At the end, what we would like to achieve, and we are in a good moment, let's say, is that we build an ecosystem where education and business collaborate to anticipate future skills need, test new learning models, and share innovations. This model of, we call this model as knowledge triangle. Knowledge triangle is actually a triangle, a connection of at least one web provider, one industry player, and one region. This model has been recognized by the European Training Foundation, one of the four best practices of this knowledge triangle for the last year. So, the 3 dimensions of the skills that we are going to set the framework, as we said in the beginning, is that our research groups all future competencies into the 3 dimensions: the digital skills, the green skills, and the human and managerial skills. The digital skills, as Jussi presented before, using technology to improve operations, marketing, and guest experience. Green skills, reducing environmental impact and promoting sustainability. And at the end, a much more horizontal, let's say, package of human and managerial skills, including leadership, communication, and adaptability in fast-growing workplaces. If we would like to go ahead and to talk about the digital skills and where gaps remain, we can see from our research that most SMEs are now online. Nearly all have a website and social media presence, but few of them use technology in a more strategic point of view. So TourX analysis shows strong gaps in using data analytics for business decision, understanding cybersecurity and privacy, and at the end, apply AI and automation to streamline operations. So we came in a conclusion that future digital competence means going beyond visibility to data-driven management and innovation. Then, if we have to talk about the green skills, sustainability is now a market requirement. TourX evidence shows that while awareness is high, the practical implementation is still uneven. Many small firms still lack staff trained to manage energy and waste. So we came in a conclusion that training must focus on hands-on competencies, not only why sustainability matters, but how to measure and communicate it. Then we have the human and social skills, and in our training of the hospitality labs, we mention this as a horizontal package. Why? Because technology, of course, cannot replace the human dimension of hospitality. Employers still value communication, empathy, and teamwork most. However, this must now pair with digital collaboration tools and intercultural competence. So we call this the augment human approach, so people empowered by technology. So by this way, this is somehow also that the TourX also happened through another EU project, a smaller one, that we came in a conclusion that when we train our trainees in our hospitality, in our labs, in our schools, then when they went to the employers, even to have a full job or to get a training there, they lack these human and social skills. So let's imagine what happened now with the digital transformation that we are facing as well. So from our research so far, and from not only under TourX, but also on the other initiatives that I will explain you later, what business and educators say is that we need practical short courses. Training must mix digital and sustainability. But from the other point, teachers also need upskilling. So across all the partners countries and all the projects funded under the European Commission, even if we have a Center of Vocational Excellence or a Blueprint project or any other forward-looking, for example, projects that, for example, we were also coordinator on that projects, both companies and educators emphasize similar points. They need short modular training, combining digital, green and managerial elements. And then the other point, the teachers themselves need continuous upskilling to keep curricula aligned with real market needs, despite of the level of EQF, if we are talking about EQF 5 or EQF level 6 or 7, even something more engaged, some more advanced. Here, since it is a webinar regarding these skills and this anticipation of skills and where we stand with the skills, I would like just to draw your attention on that two boxes. And the first one is the upskilling and reskilling box. There is a very nice data collection there regarding the research and regarding the needs that we need to keep up, and provides actually a connection with to the real life businesses and to support the lifelong learning, so as to say where we stand, if this is only a case of one country or also other countries from the EU share the same challenge, let's say. And from the other side, the Watchtower tool is again a tool not addressing only to the business sector, but also to authorities. And the aim of this tool that we are going to deliver at the end, to provide to the Commission, is to respond to the emerging skills needs that the tourism sectors will have both at the local and regional level. Both of them actually are under also the Pacts for Skills that I'm going to present you later. So everything that I have presented to you until now, and also till the end of this presentation, has been, let's say, in contact and in connection with the Pact for Skills, this flagship initiative of the European Commission. So, from skills to ecosystem, because at the end, even if it is a project that funded for a couple of years and we have specific activities to implement, at the end, we are building an ecosystem. So, TourX, and I'm sure that also TourXpeRience they are not here only to teach skills, but also to build this kind of ecosystems with vocational schools, university, and companies, that they all sit together, they share the same vision and the common table to co-create programs. Regional hubs, because we have always to remember that these projects are under the regions, okay? So we need to implement our approaches to the regional dimension, regional hubs, so as to have this exchange of innovation through any hospitality labs, and that they are going to be created most probably, to ensure that we receive feedback on the emerging trends like these ones that we Jussi also presented to us before. And at the end, this model keeps the training responsive to real-time changes in the tourism. So if we can say that we can have a key message, people with the right mix of competencies make the sector innovative, sustainable and inclusive, including the digital, the green and the human skills, so we can have a resilient tourism industry at the end. So this is the Pact for Skills that I mentioned to you before. Pact for Skills is this flagship initiative to the European Commission. It's actually a partnership of more than, right now I think they count more than 80 partners, not only web providers, but also industry players, association, umbrella organizations of the European Commission, other regions, and also public authorities, either at local, national or regional level. They are all here to, in a common view, to sit down and to create an ecosystem that they will respond to the emerging skills and needs of the tourism industry, and to make actually tourism more resilient and ready for the challenges ahead with the competencies that they build. So I'm very happy. I know that Gregorio is already informed about this partnership. They're very active. Imagine that back on time, this model transferred through TourX, this model of the knowledge triangle, including one web provider, one industry player, and one region. This model transferred under under the paths for skills, more focused on the tourism industry. And right now, starting from the build was a first project funded back on time. It was a project bridging innovation and learning in TVET. Then another project went through this path for skills and this umbrella, let's say, the PANTOUR project, a blueprint project, where industry and education and training are very connected. This was the aim of this blueprint actually partnerships. Then we have the Center of Vocational Excellence. We have the Touring project. It was again a project forward-looking project, creating systemic impact to the Commission as well. The Pacts for All is actually the project, again, under the forward-looking call of the European Commission that actually is the operating and the coordinating call of all the Pacts for Skills in the tourism industry. It was, let's say, the coordinating and communicating project. And I'm very happy that two other projects are under this umbrella, the Tour Edu for All project, the capacity building project focusing in the tourism sector in the region of Sub-Saharan Africa. Another blueprint project founded last year, the Future Alliance, with 4 million project. It's a 4 million project with EVBB, the European Association of Vet Institutions, is the coordinated partner on that. And it's going to last for the next 4 years. And I think that we can add more projects, and of course the TourXpeRience I will suggest to be part of this Pact for Skills, because the aim afterwards, as we have already discussed many times, is what we are doing after, and that we need this upskilling and reskilling are not on one-off events. They are in continuous investment in people and innovation. So we need to all sit down and join forces and engage our national partners and to avoid any, let's say, avoid any things, not to join them all together. So thank you very much for your attention. I will be happy to take your questions and to learn more about you also.
Thank you, Marievi. Questions will arrive soon, at least from my side. Some amazing the network you have created with all the projects. I'm sure you will have a clear understanding of the skill needs of this interesting sector. So let's do a couple of questions I have, okay, for you both, and I would like you to answer these questions and discuss here whatever you want as well. But starting from you, Marievi, you are in this building this skill ecosystem in the Pact for Skill discussion and so on. Which is the biggest mismatch between what academia teach and what industry needs right now?
Yes, thank you, Gregorio. It's actually the main, this was the main question that we tried also to answer through our EU programs that we participated. And as I said, for example, TourX funded after the research and after another project that we realized that the curricula and the training that we provided doesn't meet the industry needs at the end. So we from the one side, yes, we trained our trainees, we train our learners, but when it comes to the labor market, they don't have the practical skills that they need in order to get a job and to thrive in the sector. So the biggest gap for us is not about what we teach, but how fast we adapt to change. So at least from a vet provider point of view, yes, we are a vet provider, but at least on the tourism industry, we are proudly to say that following these practical engagements that we are arranged in our programs, we can secure 90% of employability for our learners. We can say that academic programs in EQF level to 3 to 5 or 6 to 7 in tourism often focus on traditional management, marketing or hospitality operations. Important, but not fully aligned with the pace of digital transformation sustainability demands that businesses face today. So from all the analysis that we have made, companies say that they need graduates who can use digital tools hands-on, from analytics dashboard to CRM probably systems, and who understand practical sustainability, not only the theory behind it. At the same time, from the vet provider's point of view, educators often lack real-time feedback from the market. So this mismatch lies in responsiveness. Education updates slowly while the industry evolves every season. That's why Central Vocational Excellence like TourX and TourXpeRience are essential, because they bring industry, vet, and higher education together to co-design curricula and keep them current. I hope that I replied to your question.
Yes, I think you pointed some. I think that's important things. TourXpeRience also is one of the to focus is sustainability. You mentioned sustainability, and that's important. And in other discussions or one of the conclusion of this project TourXpeRience is that the sustainability cannot be an alternative thing or way of thinking in tourism. No, should be the main pillar. And starting from that, when you realize, okay, sustainability is the main concept here, we don't have to have it as an alternative or residual thing. Is a good start. And then you say digital tools like for analysis. No, that's a big trend now, and is the future. So that's very important. And as far as I know, there are so many tools that allows you to take decisions in real time with the data you have. No. So thank you very much. Jussi, do you have something to say here according to your experience? Maybe you are going to say digital tools because you are passionate about digitals, or maybe not. What are you?
I'd first like to share an experience. I went to, as a part of one project we are working on in Tanzania, we went to Moshi, close to Kilimanjaro, and we, with my colleague, we did this Kilimanjaro hike experience. And there's this school there, the Mweka College of Wildlife Management, which trains these hike guides, and we hired one of those for the trip. And I think there was a really nice combination of adaptable service tailored for the client group, in combined with smart use of digital tools. So we hiked the whole day. The guide was great. He took us to a lot of local nice places, some of which he improvised on the go. He assessed kind of our physical capability and looked, okay, you guys can go on some tough tracks, let's do it. And we were able to have a really nice personal experience, including swimming in a waterfall. And in the evening, then we went to this coffee plantation, basically a local tribe which run the coffee plantation, and all the tribe was involved in this kind of tourism experience for us. We made coffee from the bean to the end product together, like two hours. We grained it, and then we burned the bean, and then we grinded it, and and we danced and we smiled and sang songs together. And while we were doing it, one of these people in the village, so this is like, there were people who didn't have a computer, didn't have any kind of a modern tech at their disposal. One of them took my mobile phone and asked if he can, like, take photos during the experience. And he was really good at using iPhone. And he made these slowed pace videos of, coffee beans pouring from the filter. He made me background pictures of different kind of nice images we did during the trip. He was able to kind of use the iPhone picture and video tools 10 times better than I was. And when I show this to my friends after this trip, they look, this is all we did. They're really excited. Oh yeah, that's really cool. So I think just to kind of build the bridge between this experience and the question, I think what we need is creative, tech-savvy storytellers who can use digital tools to enhance authentic travel experiences. And I recommend 10 out of 10 this experience. Any friend who's going to a small hike in Kilimanjaro, I will recommend this person and kind of bring him more business. I think it was an amazing experience. But there's this combination of this local, authentic knowledge of, the surroundings, plus the innovative use of digital tools that he could cater for that really made the good experience. I think that's a great example. And I think what most academic programs still do, they emphasize kind of a traditional hospitality management, marketing, service models. Industry has shifted towards experience-oriented tourism. And I think this example of a trip on Kilimanjaro was certainly an example of example-oriented tourism where these digital experiences are used in a smart way.
Very good. So
maybe, Gregor, still one thing. I'm sorry, I don't want to use all the space.
No,
but
okay.
I think that the second part is that then where we have other sorts of cultures, the one key gap is kind of a soft skills and adaptability. So being able, in some countries, it's really kind of a culture specific and location specific. In some cultures specifically, the soft skills are very, very tricky. And if you don't have good soft skills, you are not good at hospitality. Or you can have some specialized roles, but especially in the client-facing kind of interface. Language, really third important thing, because we expect more and more personalized kind of a travel, and language is a key in some areas in the world, being able to serve and being not able to serve.
Very good. So a combination, okay, always, no? I think that's always the same. The technology as a supporting tool, but the important thing is the knowledge of the person behind, know about the local cultural heritage, the experiences there. So something that maybe you can learn, but you learn in the school, but you learn with the experience as well. Then the creativity, storytelling, this is also that you are born with, but also you can develop and you can train as well. Those is something that you can train. That's true. And change a lot the experience when you have someone there with this motivation, this creativity, rather than someone that can be replaced totally with a digital tool, no? And I'm thinking, for example, now in some places that they have the strong season is during the summer, and you go in winter, and you go there and you don't have nobody to explain you the place. But maybe you can have a digital tool with augmented reality, for example, to teach you about the place, no? But it's not the same experience as having you having both things or the person.
And so sometimes you can make kind of in a way, even if you don't have a authentic story, you can make kind of an act out of it. Because, for example, I studied in Cambridge, and there's this river Cam, and there are these people who punt. They kind of this punting. They have this raft, and they push it with this big stick forward. And these people who lead these punting tours, they actually compete who can invent most of unreal stories about the different places. So it's a game of its own. And that has become so ludicrous that it itself is an experience. And again, this is kind of a experience-oriented tourism. You can kind of say it's a really boring tour that the kind of people who lead the punt tours, they kind of just tell the boring historical facts, so they can be trying to be really interesting about the interesting facts, But this is like now they invent their own, and it is so widely known that, you know, these people lying tourists about the kind of a different things that are around here has become kind of a thing itself that then has become the touristic experience. So
yeah, going beyond the typical thing. So let's pass to the following question I have from you, and this is I would like you to be more straight because we are we don't have so much time more. And then following question is if you can list 3 key skills for tourism sector workers in the 21st century. I think it's very related, but maybe it is like a kind of conclusion or wrap up of this webinar. So maybe you say, Jussi, maybe you say soft skills.
Yeah, so I think it's a combination of soft skills and adaptability, and then about, you know, learning fast, working across cultures and tools, and combining empathy with tech literacy. That's, I think, a good summary.
Very good. And Marievi, what do you think? You were mentioning digital tools as well, like artificial intelligence for data analysis. Maybe that's a good one.
Yes, the ability to use actually this digital intelligence, I can call it, and the ability to use technology, data, AI's tool to improve guest experiences and make smarter business decisions. On top of that, to understand the environmental impact of our practices and how to integrate green thinking into daily operations of our businesses. And at the end, yes, this human adaptability, because also the fact of the cultural awareness that makes technology sustainability work in real service actually context is another actor that we have to think about. So this combination, let's say, digital, green and human, I do believe that this makes the tourism workforce resilient and ready for the future, not only just for some seasonal jobs, but also to have full-time jobs and the full year.
Very good. That's a challenge here in Spain as well to find this. Probably in Greece during 2 or 3 seasons. It's hard to work on that on the sector. Thank you very much to both for this nice discussion. I really thank you for attending the webinar and participating. Just to let you know that for the attendees, that we have a following webinar on Friday, and this is in Spanish. Okay, so this is the data you to register and so on. We will talking about the immersive experiences, but we have the as well, no, like today. But we will have a museum, not a museum, but the municipality. And then Catholic University of Murcia talking about the new technologies. That's all from my side. Thank you very much. Thank you to the attendees, to the speakers, to the Employment Service of Murcia Region for organizing this through TourXpeRience project, which is funded by the Erasmus Plus program, the European Commission through the Erasmus Plus program. Thank you very much to everyone. That's all from my side.